Wii Fit and Wii Sports Resort, two games that are remembered pretty fondly, with tons of people having memories related to them. But one thing I don't see many people bring up are the animals in the game that were stylized to look like Miis. They were a pretty underutilized aspect of the Wii series, showing what creatures other than just Miis looked like. But oh boy, I sure do love this design in particular, so I sure do hope they never try to stylize them again to fit with another game's art direction. What are those? Which one of these are the real Mii cat and dog? And what other Mii animals have there been in games over the years? Well, to find out, let's go through any game I could find that had Miis interacting with some kind of animal. Also, this is a Christmas special now. And of course this is a festive topic because... I don't know, I couldn't think of a reason. The first time I can think of quote-unquote Mii animals was in Wii Play, with the ducks that show up during the shooting gallery minigame, which in turn were meant to reference the original Duck Hunt. Which kinda makes me wonder if they even count. But even if they don't, there's still the crochet cow from the charge minigame, which I thought also maybe shouldn't count because it's made of wool, but at the end of the minigame there are some seemingly non-wool cows. And in a similar should this count vein, there's the fish from the fishing minigame, which seemed to just be made out of paper. Things are already off to a weird start. But moving on, the far more iconic Mii animals are the previously mentioned cat and dog that were introduced in Wii Fit, where they were basically just in the jogging minigames. But they became a lot more relevant in the game's enhanced re-release, Wii Fit Plus, where they not only appear in a lot more minigames, but they added the feature of adding your own cat or dog and weighing them alongside yourself. So let me go quickly abduct the creature, and here we go. Yep, there she is. But that's not all for Wii Fit. In the background of the penguin slide minigame, there are of course penguins, as well as your Mii dressed up as one, which we'll get back to, but there's also actual non-paper fish. Additionally, in the weirdly serene chicken minigame, there are seagulls that follow your flight path. So this adds birds and fish to the pool of existing Mii animals. But what else is there? Mii Fursuits are canon and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Wii Music has both cat and dog suits as instruments, and these can both be very hard to actually blend into a song, but they can be really funny to use right. Which, as a side note, I feel like not enough people give Wii Music credit for just how goofy it is. Like, it's a game that has no scoring, goofy off-tune MIDI instruments, and a soundtrack that ranges from Material Girl to the 1902 classic The Entertainer, and I'm just supposed to pretend that this isn't one of the funniest games ever made. But on to something else. Personal Trainer Walking was a game for the DS that let you track your steps with the two included pedometers. And the main reason they included two was probably so that you could set one up for yourself and share the other with someone else. But the game also lets you set up one of the pedometers for your dog. They kinda look like the typical Wii dog, but a bit more stylized. In terms of customization, you get to pick the dog's size and gender, but the actual fur color and pattern is randomized. So from here, you can put the pedometer on your dog's collar and start tracking their steps. And with those steps, you can partake in the two game modes. Walk the World, where your Mii or dog mark out pictures on a map, or Illuminate, where your steps are converted into electricity to power a house. Wii Sports Resort marked the return of the original Wii Fit Mii dog, being your partner for the Frisbee minigame. But other than that, I don't think they're in any of the other games. And the Mii cat doesn't show up in any of the minigames. Such a complete tragedy. But this game does actually introduce one new Mii animal, being these ducks that show up during the canoeing minigames. But the Wii series game that blew the doors open in terms of Mii animals, as well as being the game that prompted me to make this video, is Wii Party, cause this game introduced a bunch of Mii animals that were all in the same art style as Wii Fit. And there was even a dedicated mode featuring them where you guess which animal sounds are coming out of the Wii Remote speakers. And honestly, these are just such funny designs. Like, they're just a bunch of little creatures. Moving on to something far more obscure, Aquaspace was a WiiWare game released by Nintendo in 2010 that was developed by Payon, the company that made Donkey Kong Barrel Blast. Oh god. The game is an aquarium simulator, which was a surprisingly popular genre for the WiiWare service. But this one included a feature to drop a Mii into the tank and watch them swim. But the important question is, do these fish even count? They're so much bigger than the Miis and clearly made to be more realistic. And the answer to that is, I'm not really sure. I just found this game and thought it would be pretty cool to bring up. After that, another debatable case of Mii animals is Nintendogs plus cats, where Miis are the shopkeepers, other pet owners, and even the event hosts, replacing the minimalist silhouette humans from the original game. Which, to break into a complete tangent, this Mii right here is supposed to be Ted Rumsworth from the original Nintendogs. What did they do to him? And the other commentator, Archie, isn't here. Why did they take his husband? Okay, after doing some external research, Archie is still in the game, but he's only a shopkeeper. So it can't be that bad, right? He's still here, right? Oh god, they did him so dirty, what the hell? Not to mention they also whitewashed the hell out of him. So yeah, just for fun, I made some new Miis for them based off their original portraits. And here are the QR codes for them. Enjoy! Another 3DS game to mention is Street Pass Mii Plaza, where there are the humanoid animals that take on roles instead of other players when you use play coins instead of street passing. And you actually get to choose whether they're cats or dogs, depending on what you chose when you're setting up the app for the first time. But then there's also the rabbit that's life goal was to sell you on those DLC minigames. And a cool tidbit about them is that their reaction to you not going through with a purchase is actually different between the US and European versions, since the EU has laws which prohibit coercive language for in-game purchases being used in games marketed towards children. Also, honorable mention to the Nintendo Badge Arcade Bunny, as well as the side characters from Swapnote and Swapdoodle. I completely forgot about them until pretty late into this video, but I still wanted to mention them somewhere. There wasn't much new in We Fit You or We Party You, basically just returning minigames that featured the same animals as their original versions, and We Party You having another new animal-based mode, but that's about it. Though a game from around the same time that actually does have something to mention is Tomodachi Life, which when your Miis level up, gives you the option to gift them a rent-a-cat coupon or a rent-a-dog coupon, and then you can just see your Miis chilling with them in their apartment. Now, I always kinda wondered why you gave them a coupon instead of just, you know, the pet. But it was probably done for specific game design reasons. Since all the other gifts only seem to exist when the Mii's using them, there might have been an issue making an exception for just these two items. So instead they just went with the idea that the Mii is renting the cat or dog. But yeah, to close off this segment, I thought that these coupons were also in the original game Tomodachi Collection, but I double checked and I guess they just weren't. Getting back to the more obscure side of things, near the end of the 3DS's life, Nintendo was still releasing major software for it, even well after the Switch launch. And these titles, while being some of the best for the system, fell under the radar due to general excitement for the Switch and its games. And one of the most underlooked of these games is Dylan's Dead Heatbreakers. In fact, not a lot of people talk about this series in general, despite it being an entire trilogy. But never mind that, this game starts with you deciding what Mii you're gonna put in the Fursona barrel, where your Mii comes out the other end as one of 10 different animals, or as the game calls them, amimals. And from what I played, this game's actually really good, with really fast, snappy gameplay. And it's kinda crazy the level of detail they were able to squeeze into a downloadable only 3DS game. And I definitely recommend picking it up from the— oh yeah, I forgot about that. But nearing the end, we have the Switch port of Miitopia, where they added a horse that becomes a party member early on in the game. And I'm pretty sure this is the most customizable Mii animal there's been to this day, with a similar level to the Miis themselves. There's technically also the Cat and Mii class, as well as some of the monsters in the game that are seemingly just normal animals, like the mole, cobra, mouse, and the most horrifying thing I've ever seen with my eyes. Why is the mouth there? And for one final game, Nintendo Switch Sports, despite de-emphasizing Miis in favor of these things, still has something that technically counts. One of the cosmetic types this game had were different bodies, and while some of these were things like a hamburger or a soccer ball, some of these were of animals. But like all the other cosmetics in the game, you can only unlock them when their specific collection is in cycle, meaning it could take quite a while to actually try to unlock any of these. And I'm pretty sure you can only actually unlock items if you have an active Nintendo Switch Online subscription. Why do you have to pay $24.99 a year to play badminton as a squirrel? But yeah, that was the complete history of Mii animals. I hope you enjoyed me just yapping about another Mii related topic. I feel like I'm getting pretty good at making these videos now, and I have some other topics I've started researching, but I hope people will stick around for stuff I make going forward. Though, as one last thing to bring up, doing research for this video, I found that there were at least 4 results for Ted Rumsworth x Archie Hub's fanfiction, so I guess that community seems to have their priorities in order.